welcome back to my channel. My name is Ipawa and I'm back again with another true crime video. On today's video, we will be talking about the case of Alwina Melody Uri-Khos. Now, before we get into the case, I would like to give a warning that I do speak of crimes of a violent and sexual nature, as well as crimes of child abuse. So, viewer discretion is advised, and if you are triggered by these kind of things, I suggest that you watch my other videos that have nothing to do with crime, but equally interesting. I also want to say, by me making these videos, I mean no disrespect to the victims, nor their family members or anybody else involved in this case, but I'm merely trying to shed more light on the case, and I believe that the victim stories need to be told, and I do hope that my videos bring more light to the pandemic of femicide that we have in Namibia and many other crimes that affect us as a nation. With that being said, let's get right into the video. On the 30th of March 2013, a Windhoek mother got the worst call of her life. Her 18-year-old son, Reuben, had just called to inform her that his friends are claiming that he has killed someone. Reuben's mom said that when she got off work that day, unfortunately she couldn't ask Reuben about this whole thing that he had told her over the phone because she had a visitor. So she only got to ask him on the 1st of April. And she said that she was watching news at 8 o'clock in the evening on a Monday. And she saw a report of a woman that was murdered in the Korean Dam area. She said that she then called Reuben to the living room and she asked if this is the person that he had said that he had killed, of which Reuben answered that it isn't. And in fact, he said that the body of the person that he had killed was still laying at the scene of the crime. Reuben also told his mother that he knew the lady that he had killed and he identified her as Melody Alwina Uri-Khos. He also told his mother that he committed the crimes by himself and that he had no accomplice. The next day, Mrs. Isamu, Reuben's mother, then called a childhood friend of hers who was a superintendent in the city police. This superintendent's name is Cecily Kolokwe, and she asked Cecily to come to her house as she said that she had a problem. So when Cecily arrived, Reuben's mom told her what Reuben had told her, and they asked Reuben to repeat what he had told his mother to Superintendent Kolokwe. Reuben once again told Superintendent Kolokwe that he had killed someone and that this person's body is still laying at the scene of the crime. So Mrs. Kolokwe then asked Reuben to take her to where the body is laying, and Reuben's mom didn't join them, so the two of them went. And Mrs. Kolokwe said that upon arriving at the place where the body was, she said that she observed the body of a young black woman, and she said that the body was lying face down. She also said that she noticed that the body was in the stages of decomposition, as she saw flies and maggots around the body. But she also saw that the body was naked, and there was a bra and a lip gloss and some bolas laying right next to the body. She said that she then asked Reuben what he had killed this lady with, and he pointed at some rocks that were lying next to the lady's body. The two then returned to Reuben's mother's house, and they said that they had found her at the neighbor's house. And when Mrs. Kolokwe saw Mrs. Isamu, she just shook her head and confirmed that she indeed saw the body that Reuben had spoken about. It said that Mrs. Isamu, Reuben's mother, fainted right away and she had to be hospitalized for 2 days. So Superintendent Kolokwe then started calling the police, and the police started arriving. And when Reuben heard the sirens, it said that he jumped out of the yard and he ran, and the police started chasing him. He ran towards the B1 highway, and it said that Reuben was bumped by a mini bus on the highway, and he was injured badly. He was bleeding, but nevertheless he was arrested and he was taken to the Katutura police station. But seeing as Reuben was injured, he was then taken to Katutura State Hospital to go and get his injuries checked. And a certain superintendent at the Windhoek City Police, once again, a certain Mr. Oscar Simata, was given the task to take him to the hospital and to bring him back to the police station. And when they returned back to the police station, Reuben said that he told Mr. Simata that he had an accomplice that he committed this crime with, and his name is Dimitri Narimap. And he said that they raped and killed this lady together. So Mr. Simata then asked Reuben if he knew where this Dimitri lived, and Reuben said that he does, and he took the police straight to Reuben's house in Shandubala, where he was also arrested right away. After Dimitri got arrested, he was questioned by the police about this murder and rape, and Dimitri denied everything. He said he knew nothing about the murder, and in fact, he had his own story to tell. Dimitri Narimap was 25 years old in 2013. He said that he knew Melody because he was a dance instructor at the Katutura Youth Center, and Melody used to be one of his students. But in 2013, Melody never enrolled for classes, but they remained friends. So on the 28th of March 2013, Dimitri said that he met Melody at the shops in Dolam, and he invited her out for a drink later that night. Around 7 to 8, Dimitri and his friend Reuben Fritz went to get Melody, and they went on to have drinks at a bar in Shandubala called Iviyongo Bar, and they stayed there for a while until a friend of theirs, a friend of Dimitri and Reuben, who is called Baron, arrived with two of his female friends. So Baron and his two friends and Dimitri, Melody, and Reuben continued to drink at Iviyongo Bar, but they then went on to also go to another bar which was called the Blue Note Bar, but they didn't stay long, so they went back to Shandubala to Iviyongo Bar. But later on, Baron and his two lady friends left, and when they left, Melody also wanted to go home, and she said that she didn't have taxi money. So Dimitri said that he didn't have money on him at the time, but he had money at home. So he suggested that they both, the three of them, walk to Dimitri's house so that they can give Melody taxi money to go home. So when they arrived at Dimitri's house, they found Dimitri's brother, Albert Narimap, in the room that he shared with Dimitri. Dimitri then took 35 Namibian dollars and gave it to Melody Uri-Khos, and just as they were leaving to escort Melody to the taxi, Dimitri's brother called him back to come and help him play a certain movie that he wanted to play, but there was some kind of technical problems. And as Dimitri tried to fix that problem, he said that it took about 20 minutes, but at that time he thought Reuben and Melody were still waiting for him outside. But when he was done and when he went outside, he didn't find them. He said that he went back to Iviyongo Bar. He didn't find them there. And he called them, but none of their phones were being picked up. After realizing that their phones were not being picked up, he called another friend, the same friend that he was hanging out with previously, Baron. And he asked if he had seen Melody and Reuben. And Baron said he didn't. So Dimitri then told Baron that if Reuben calls him, he should tell him that he is just at home. Now, this whole thing was confirmed by Baron, that indeed he did get a call from Dimitri around 10 in the evening asking about Melody and Reuben. Dimitri then said that he then went back home where he found his brother still watching the movie, and he said that he joined his brother to watch this movie and he later fell asleep. So the next day, he says that Reuben came early in the morning to his house around 8:30, and he said that he noticed that Reuben had a cut lip and an injured finger, and he asked him what happened, and Reuben told him that he had gotten into a fight at a certain place. But he also said that Reuben told him that he put Melody on the taxi the previous night. Reuben then presented Dimitri with a phone, and funny enough, it said that Dimitri knew that the phone belonged to Melody, but he never really questioned Reuben why he was selling Melody's phone. He said that he wanted to sell the phone for 20 Namibian dollars because they just wanted to smoke and they just needed quick money. So the two of them went to Kamiente, where they met a certain Romario, and they told him that they were selling this phone for 20 Namibian dollars and they just needed quick money to go and smoke. And Romario then checked the phone and he saw that it was looking for, or it was asking for a password, and they negotiated it down to 10 Namibian dollars. So the two then sold Melody's phone for 10 Namibian dollars, and they went to buy 3 cigarettes and they smoked. Dimitri then says that after that whole incident, him and Reuben had been meeting just as normal friends. He didn't suspect anything until he got a call from Melody's mother on the 30th of March. He said that Melody's mother asked about her daughter because she had been told by someone that he was the one that had actually taken her out for a drink and he was spotted with her. But he had told Melody's mother that he put her on a taxi and he thought that she had arrived home safely. Dimitri says that he lied to Melody's mother that he had put her on a taxi because that is what Reuben had told him, that he put Melody on the taxi, and he'd never really suspected that this would lead to a murder investigation against him. Now let's get into Reuben's story. Now remember, initially Reuben told his mother that he committed the crime by himself and that he didn't have an accomplice. Well, Reuben kept changing his story. So he said that when the three of them finished drinking at Evie Yongo bar because they had run out of money, Melody suggested that they go and get a 70 Namibian dollar that she had at home so that they can continue drinking. He said that as they were walking towards the Nubwame's location, the two of them stopped somewhere to smoke some drugs, and after they finished smoking drugs, they started making fun of Melody and pulling her, and she started threatening them and she started getting angry, and she said that she would call the police on them and that they should stop. Reuben then says that him and Dimitri then decided that if she's going to threaten them and say that she's going to call the police on them, they might as well finish what they started. Reuben says Melody then started running, and unfortunately she tripped and fell, and the two of them dragged her into the bush where they raped her. He said that he raped her once, but Dimitri raped her twice, and he then said that they started strangling her after they raped her, and she was screaming and pleading for mercy, but they felt that they needed to finish what they started, and they kept strangling her, but she wasn't dying, and that's when they took a rock that weighed 21 kgs to smash her on her head, killing her instantly. Reuben says that after they killed Melody, before they left, they promised each other that they would still remain friends and that they are going to keep this a secret between the two of them only, and that they are going to lay low. But as they went on to trial, Reuben changed his story once again. This time around, Reuben claimed that he never told his mother nor his mother's friend that he had killed someone, and that in fact he discovered Melody's body, and he said that he was going to hide some drugs somewhere in the bush, and he discovered Melody's body as he tried to hide these drugs. The two of them stayed in jail for almost 4 years while awaiting trial. Now, in 2013, when Melody's body was discovered, it was also sent to forensic investigators for swabbing. They swabbed her body of any evidence related to DNA. They said that they found some samples in her nails, and they also swabbed her private areas, and the suspects were also swabbed. And after 4 years of being in jail, the DNA test results was finally released. On the 17th of November 2017, Dimitri Narimap was acquitted of all charges. the DNA test results came back negative, and there was no circumstantial nor reliable evidence to show that Dimitri Narimab was involved in this crime. However, Reuben Fritz was found guilty on all charges by High Court Judge Boaz Usiku. He is yet to be sentenced.